Well, sadly, take a look at this junk that we have now. This happened around sometime in early May, okay? Now, why did this happen? Well, I know our old alarm system was giving us, it was giving us the FC code, which I believe is fault communication, and it was kind of annoying my mom, I guess you could say. And for the record, this is a rant series about the alarm, okay? This video is not directed to the video is not directed to my folks in any such way, all right? So there was this fault code that we would get, and it would sometimes go away, and I don't quite know what the issue is. I think it might be something with the phone system, because we've had calls pop up on the television screen to show who's calling, but the phone itself wouldn't ring. So maybe that has something to do with it. I really don't know. But instead of nice regular pads, we got this touchscreen crap now. Yeah, so you really need to have a television with your alarm system, right? Because that makes perfect sense. And I guess the phone issue was going on for a while, because I can remember it was on New Year's Day, not this New Year's, but 2025, I believe. We had some kind of thunderstorm out, believe it or not. And I guess the thunder was just so perfect, and maybe the vibrations were just right. It caused one of the glass break sensors to trip, and of course, it caused an alarm. So we turned it off, this and that, and then the place never called us. And then next thing we know, about 5-10 minutes later, the police show up at the front door. But thankfully, nothing bad happened with that, and we told them everything was fine, this and that. So there was no issue there. But at least we know that if the phone isn't working, they still sends them. You know what I'm saying? But this crap is just, I can't even begin to tell you how much I hate this new system. It's giving me such a headache lately that it's just unbelievable. All right, so I'm going to try something first here too. So we have everything set to chime right now. Let's see what happens when I open this door, if it's actually going to chime. Nice. The other ones did, but that one didn't. So let's try again. Absolutely unbelievable. So maybe it has to do with the fact that, I don't know, the pad's asleep, of course, which is like, so dumb. Here, so let's wake it up. Do something. There you go. And now let's try it. Oh, so now you actually do the damn chime. So really, like you have to be like that in order to chime. It is just so ridiculous. And yeah, okay, you have your alarm system right there, this and that. Now, I'm not going to show any options here because pulling that up will pull up personal information, so I'm not going to broadcast that, obviously. But basically, the touchscreen is finicky, okay? There are plenty of times where I'm hitting those code buttons to turn the system off, and it is not registering properly, okay? Whereas we have a regular real keypad like you're supposed to have, you push the buttons, it beeps, confirm you're hitting the button, put in your code in, hit 1, it turns off. You cannot beat physical technology like that, okay? And this system, it really gives me a headache because, for the record, by the way, okay, I have this pad set to not wake when someone is near it, right? Doesn't work. There's plenty of times, so it just went back to sleep, okay? So now I'm going to move my hand towards the sensor. It worked that time, huh? Yeah, see what I mean? And even that doesn't work properly. Like, even if you have it set to wake when someone's there, you can see I put my hand in front of it, didn't do anything. I did it again, then it did it with the system, with the option turned off. And there's all these other options like, volume, not tone, like volume, brightness, the LED brightness for the thing on top. And it's like, I don't need that junk. You know why the old pads didn't have those options? Because they didn't need them. All right? It is an insane way to just take something that's good and break it. You know what I'm saying? And you notice there's a little Wi-Fi indicator right up there. We'll get to that in a second, all right? But basically, there's my rant for those things. Let me go up to my bedroom now and show you something. Okay, so here I am up in my bedroom. Oh, you probably remember this setup here, this and that. So now take a look at this now. I have this nice plate over here now because with the old system, the pad was here. And initially, the new pad was there as well. But as you can see, it's been moved over to the right. Now, I want you to think very hard, okay? Why do you think that happened? Okay? Do you want to know why? Because these pads give off heat. What's above where the old pad was? The thermostat. How much heat did the old pad give off? Zero. Literally nothing. So when I got home that day, as annoyed as I was, when this pad was over here, okay, the Mets clock I have over there, I'm sure you guys remember that, okay, it was saying, I believe, 73 degrees. What was this saying? 78. And according to the guy, okay, he was making the claim that I've never seen that happen before. We've had setups like that before. So I have one of two reasons why he said that. One of two, there we go. One of two reasons why he said that, okay? Either he was lying, or other homeowners are just too stupid to notice. So when that happened, I just got so, like, I was already annoyed as it was with this new crappy system. And now because of heat that this thing gives off, they had to move it over here. Now, I don't really mind that so much, but it's like, how do you not think about stuff like this, with LCD screens and things like that? LCD screens are not, I don't know, what's the word, heatless, okay? They're going to give off heat. Now, some of you may make the argument saying, well, they shouldn't put the alarm pad below the thermostat. Okay, maybe I'll give you a little bit of leeway on that, but once again, the old Honeywell pads gave off no heat whatsoever. They did not in any way interfere with the thermostat, okay? And I'm very glad we don't have any smart thermostats, okay? As you can see right here, can you get any simpler than that? If you want to turn the system on, there. Want to put the fan on, there. Okay, and then you don't have to go to some stupid touch screen and touch 5 different options to put on the system that you want. Okay, simpler is better. You got to remember that. So this is just insane. It really annoys the heck out of me. All right, and same thing with this pad too. I have wake when near turned off. Oh, look at that! It doesn't work. What a surprise, huh? And by the way, too, hey Marco. By the way, too, okay, this pad does not shine. I've looked at all the options. I've looked at volume. I've looked at what sensor to do it with. This pad just flat out does not shine, no matter how many times I try. So you know what? I just stopped caring. I'm not going to bother with it anymore. All right? And another thing that's really annoying, too, is on the old Honeywell pads, okay, when you arm your system for stay, you could just do #3. It does 3 beeps to indicate the number 3 for stay. It arms, you're out the door. But what this one does is, it basically counts down, which is fine, but it keeps making a tone sound, like a little tone, for every second that it's counting down, and then it gets faster as it gets towards the end. I've looked all over for this thing to not make it do a sound like that when it's arming, and I can't find that. So I have to hear that every single time we arm it for the night, whatever, hear that stupid tone as it's counting down. How backwards is that, all right? I mean, it just makes no sense whatsoever. Everything about this system is just wrong and backwards. I don't know how else to put it other than that, okay? I think there was something else I wanted to mention here. Just give me a moment to think. Yes, okay, so that's the other thing that I wanted to mention. So basically, on this pad at least 3 times, and another one, I think the one by the garage, okay, at least once, I've had a situation where that light on top is yellow and blinking. Now, what does that mean? It lost connection. Yeah, how could it lose connection? Just keep that in mind, okay? And just once again to show you, I'm just going to put my hand in front. See, yeah, see, somehow it detects it like that. I really don't get it. Look at this over here. Welcome home. Your system has no issues. Well, yeah, it does have an issue. It exists. So, all right, let me go down to the basement now and show you some stuff down there. Actually, no, hang on. One thing I want to show you on the foyer pad, then we'll head down to the basement. So now check this out, okay? On all pads, we have it turned off. This is the only one that has it on. I guess my folks want it on, okay? There's this nice little screensaver you have here. Yeah, you're really saving a lot, You have the screen on now, which is using more energy. If I put my hand on top, oh yeah, it's warm. Okay, no thermostats, so I guess that's not a problem. Look, it gives you this, and that. Look, mostly sunny, 72 degrees. And my thing is, who cares? You're an alarm system. You're not a weather station. Okay? This is just more extra stuff that people don't need and is just more complex, uses more stuff, and does not serve the purpose for what this thing is intended for. Okay? And it's just insanely unbelievable and unnecessary. Okay, now we'll head down to the basement. So, of course, here's this nice new panel here. All nice, plastic, of course, because everyone likes plastic and such, right? So anyway, so here's what this new thing looks like now. And, of course, here's the basement pad. And basically, there's a lot of problems with this setup here, okay? First of all, Wake when ear is turned off. I barely even went by it. And look at that, it turned on. Unbelievable. This thing just does not work properly. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now here's the thing I want to show you. There's a lot more plugs connected than there used to be down here, okay? Now, I'll explain to you exactly why that is. First of all, that one is normal. That's the transformer to power the thing. Okay, I get that. But now you can see we have 3 new plugs that have to be connected now for this. Why is that? Let me show you something. Actually, you know, here, we'll follow the wires, okay? And basically, these wires, okay, they're for all these new pads now. Are you putting it together now? Basically, because of all this touchscreen nonsense, all of these pads now need their own external power supply. Where is that efficient? Can someone explain to me? Because I can tell you right now, it's not. Basically, we have a total of 5 pads, and some of them are tied into each other with the 3 plugs. So I think one might just be for one, the other 2 are for the other 4, I guess, if you want to go with that. So basically, that means that these pads are no longer directly powered by the main panel, which would normally happen. So what does that mean? Remember when I mentioned about the Wi-Fi indicator on the panel by the garage? Basically, all of these pads now have to communicate with the main pad wirelessly. Again, what sense does that make? Okay, because the old Honeywell system that we had, every single pad was powered directly by the panel itself, and they communicated hardwired, which is probably why, for example, the chime worked every single time you opened a zone, okay? And probably why there's no loss of connection, because they're hardwired. So the only way you could lose connection is if the wiring is bad or the wiring disconnects. So how is this new system better? Again, can someone explain that to me? So basically, the way the old system was, we had that there for the televisions, the transformer plug was here, these plugs were not used at all, and that bottom plug had the CO detector, which has been moved over there, upside down, mind you, by the sump pump. This is just insanely stupid. I'd have no other way to put it. Oh, I should tell you, I forgot to show it to you. I'm not going to do it now. We have another wireless device that's plugged into upstairs on the first floor. You know what that is? That's the siren. So now he gave us a wireless siren for some reason, whereas meanwhile, we already have the wired one upstairs on the second floor. Okay? And another note on that. When he first gave us that wireless siren, he disconnected the one that went to the second floor. And I was like, oh no, that is not happening, okay? That siren speaker is not becoming a wall decoration. He's coming back here and he's putting it back into the panel. And to his credit, he did. But still, it is just so insanely stupid of how people think this new stuff is better, because it's not. I have no other way of telling you this, but it is just flat out not. And another thing too is, it has a status light up there, obviously, which makes sense, of course, okay? But when you arm your system for stay meaning, you know, everything but the motion detectors are armed, okay? That light goes from green to blue. Now, this is coming from someone who loves blue as a color. When has a blue light on an alarm system ever indicated armed? Since I was a kid back in the 1990s, and I'm sure way before that, an armed light was always red. In what, can you possibly think of any possible situation where changing it to blue, it makes sense? Because if you can, I sure as heck can't find one. Yeah, so blue means armed for stay. More stuff that's unnecessary and just dumb. And here's the other thing too. You can now use you can now use their app on your phone to, you know, disarm or arm the system from your phone. I'm not going to do that, okay? You want to know why? Because I don't need that. Every alarm system, you go inside, hit the keypad, your system is on or off. It's that simple. You don't need all this new wireless technology crap that it is so unnecessary and does not benefit you in any single way. And like, you know, some people say, and now, of course, the other thing I think of too is, with the old system, okay, basically, the only way you could access the alarm system is by coming into the house itself. So basically, now there's an option. Okay, there's codes, this and that, but just hear me out, okay? Now there's what do you want? What do I want to say here? Options, access to the alarm from your phone. In my personal opinion, that is less secure than when everything is inside the house itself, okay? So basically, the only way someone could break into the alarm system with the old one is that they break into the house. What happens when they break into the house? The alarm gets set off. What happens when the alarm gets set off? A signal gets set out. And then either they call us or the police get sent, okay? So can you be any more secure than that? You know what these pads remind me of? Remember 6 years ago, I made the video of those GE washers at the house in Arizona? And basically, everything was touchscreen now? Same thing. People, listen to me. Touchscreen is not better than physical keypads with physical buttons. They never will be. Whether it's 2026 or 2056, okay? It is not going to be any better than regular wired physical keypads. And if your keypads buttons may have trouble hitting, more often than not, take the keypad apart, clean the contacts, put it back together, you're good to go. This one, you're probably going to have to replace the whole thing. Oh. All right, guys, you heard me ramble on about this whole thing here, about, the keypads and how they need their own power supply now. This new stuff is just so backwards, it is just not funny, okay? There's something that I always said in YouTube comments, plenty of them, okay? The smarter an appliance or a system is, the dumber it operates. And that could not be any closer to the truth. And if I could just make another rant about smart devices, it's like, I can do all this from my phone, this and that. Who cares? Okay? Like, I put it to you this way. You want to turn a light on in your house or turn it off? Use a switch. That's proven technology that's been around for years that works every single time. You want to open or close your garage door? Use the wall button. You want to open or close it from the outside? Use the code pad. All right? You don't need all this phone stuff that is just so stupid and unnecessary. All right? And I mean, let's say, for example, you want to have a guest here and you want them to be able to disarm or arm the alarm and open or close the garage door. Set up temporary codes. That is a perfect way of doing such, okay? I went to Arizona a couple of years ago now, and we gave some neighbors a temporary code that they could put into the garage doors and the alarm system, so that way they could come into and take care and feed the cats, this and that, okay? And that worked perfectly fine. There was no issues whatsoever. Admittedly, I think they weren't quite sure how to disarm it the first time, but basically, and then of course it got set off, but we contacted who we had to, they called us, everything was fine, okay? So that worked out. But just this newer wireless smart stuff, please guys, just don't do it. There is no benefit to it whatsoever. Okay, I'll be reasonable on one thing. On my dad's night table lamp, he has a smart plug set up for his lamp. Okay, fine, that's not the worst. It's just one lamp, and I can kind of see why he does it. On the same time, though, if there's no internet connection, that plug doesn't work. So, you see what I'm getting at here, guys? Wired will beat wireless every single time. Okay, one more thing I want to show you. Amazingly, or maybe he had to, I don't know, he left us the old alarm panel for the old alarm system. And see, as you can see here, there is your phone line to send a signal out, and there's your circuit board right there with everything. I'm purposely staying over here because there's information on this inside panel that I don't want to show. And, look, I believe there's your wire. That was maybe the power supply wire, I'm not sure. And there was to connect everything. There is nothing better than this, okay? There really isn't. Part of me is hoping this is an omen, and I don't really believe in that stuff, but maybe the new company will start charging too much, the system will work properly, and then it gets ripped out and we get something like this again. By the way, this is a Honeywell Vista system, okay? These are very common and very readily available. So why would you get anything else? I've been insanely upset over this new alarm system that didn't have to be changed, and it was. And probably because the old system was beeping a lot, probably just needed a new backup battery, but didn't want to do that. And I'm kind of kicking myself because if I replaced it sooner than being lazy, this probably wouldn't have happened, honestly. So we're stuck for this for now, but I guess we'll have to see, what happens in the future. Maybe if I'm lucky, this new system will be completely crap and it can get changed back. I don't know. I don't even know how much it costs to do stuff like this. I mean, all the wires are already there and such, so wouldn't really have to do much as far as I'm aware. But Anyway, guys, thank you for listening to my rambling and my ranting. I just had to get that out because this new system is insanely backwards. There is nothing good about it. There is nothing beneficial about it. If you're lucky to have a house with a hardwired system, keep it. Stay with your wired keypads and don't do anything fancy. You will be just fine. So there you guys go. New crappy backwards alarm system that we have now. Who knows what the future holds? I'm hoping something happens where this goes away and we can get something normal again. So there you guys go. Thanks for listening to me. Thanks for watching. Take care.